Recording in progress 2 weeks in a row. What is going on? But we are back with episode 23 of season 2 of the Designated Players podcast. This is gonna be a good one. It's playoff time, which means we need to make playoff predictions because, as you know, we're always right. So we should let you know what's going to happen so you can put your bets down now.
Yeah, spoilers.
Yeah, tons of spoilers, but I mean, it's going to make you money if you're smart enough. So listen closely, get your money ready. All of your bets, don't put them on your like normal bets. We're going to start our own betting like site. Really good odds, like, 2-1, maybe like minimum bet of like $400, and all proceeds go directly to me because it's my podcast. But I am joined with my other host, Connor, and we're back here ready to go again. You ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
We're not going to mess this up this time. We're going to go scarf of the week first.
Yes.
Before we dive right into what we were doing. What do you got?
We're just too excited last week.
We
Too
were,
excited.
and last week was fun. Long, but fun. If you haven't listened to that, go check that out. We did MLS 22 under 22 the right way. We told you all about who it was. And
our list was phenomenal at the end. Our combined list was so good.
Oh, unbelievable. Like when we averaged out where we thought everybody should be.
It was perfection.
Unbeatable. Unbeatable. Especially 1 and 2.
No.
Go check that out if you haven't already. We probably should put some clips up or something, but I haven't done any of that because I'm lazy.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, scarf of the week.
Yeah. Season 3 will have clips for every episode. I said that last year, but it'll be realistic.
Yeah, it'll happen maybe someday.
Yeah. What do you got?
All right. So I know I just rocked this the other day. Not in our last episode, but if we're talking about the playoffs, there's no choice. I have to go back with the bold prediction. Vancouver is making the playoffs this season.
I am rocking. I don't know if I brought this one on the pod yet. This was in a little gift my brother got me for a new job I started. It's an FC Bayern scarf. Don't know if I brought it out yet.
No, it's the first time I've seen it.
Yeah, so it came with remember the Austria one I had?
Yeah.
He got me 2 random ones, and those were the 2 random ones. It was Bayern and it was Austria. So breaking that one out. I think I'm out of new scarves, so I'll have to go get some more. But
it's just a scarf for Alphonso Davies.
Yeah, sure. That's what it is.
And Chris Richards.
Sure. But yeah, the way this is going to work is we will basically go team by team for anybody who's left or has not clinched a spot, like a number 1, number 2, number 3 spot. And basically predict their last 3 or 4 games and come up with a final standings list. So New England Supporters Shield champions as of yesterday at the time of recording. Congratulations to them.
Well deserved.
That is 1 out of 3 for predictions for your boy. Spoilers there as well, but just throwing that out there.
We're not at that episode yet.
We're not. We will be,
down.
and I will be bragging about it often in that episode. However, we will basically just go through anybody who hasn't clinched a spot. So Philly, the teams, we'll just go through real quickly. Philly, Nashville, Orlando, City, Red Bull, Atlanta, Montreal, DC, Miami, and Columbus are still in it. And then Seattle, SKC, Colorado, Portland, Galaxy, Minnesota, Vancouver, RSL, LAFC, and San Jose. Those will be the teams we go through, and we'll just go, okay, they're going, for example, Philly at Toronto. I'm going to give my prediction of what it'll finish at. Connor will give his. One of us will probably be right. One of us will probably be wrong. You already know who that is probably going to be.
Me.
Wrong. Connor. But that's basically the way it'll work. We'll go ahead and share our thoughts about form and players and, try not to stretch us into a 4-hour argument over the best U22 player versus.
We'll do our best. We'll do our best.
Yeah, the best.
No promises.
Like Ricardo Pepi, the best.
Yeah, the best that wants to leave. Literally requested a transfer after you put him number 1.
Literally,
That's how bad your take was.
Literally, we're not going to do this right now. Okay. So no better place to start than number 2 in the East. Philadelphia going their last 3 games, going to Toronto, hosting FCC at home, and then going away to maybe the baseball. Yeah, it would be the baseball stadium now because the Yankees aren't playing anymore. So they'll be going to the baseball stadium. Connor, give me your 3. Do you want to do 3? You want to do game by game? What do you want to do here?
I can give you each result. I mean, I think. Are you looking to get like an exact score or just like win, loss, draw?
Win, loss, draw is fine.
Yeah,
I mean, you want to go scores, it's fine, but just really result is probably gonna be the one you want to look at.
All right, so Philly at this point probably is already wrapped up making the playoffs. I think we can probably all agree on that. It would take an astronomical collapse to not make the playoffs at this point. So I would say really what they're playing for is just try to get home field for as much of or what's the format this season? Is it just one game for the first round or is it home and away after that?
So I'm looking at the bracket here. So if they finish second in the East, for example, they will go ahead and they'll play the number 7 in the East. Then they'll play the winner of 3 versus 6. And then if they win that game, they go play the winner of the conference semis. So the only team that doesn't play week 1 is New England. They've got a bye and they've got home field advantage all the way through.
Is everything a one-off game or is it a home and away?
Everything's a one-off game. No double legs anymore. Everything's one-off. So if they go all the way and make it all the way through, they will have home field advantage up until the conference finals. If New England makes it there, if New England doesn't make it, they will have home field advantage maybe all the way through. They've got a really good shot at it if they finish number 2, right?
Yep. Okay. So then I would say, while they're not necessarily playing to get into the playoffs, I think at this point they're playing to get that 2 seed over Nashville. So that way they can have home field at least up until the conference finals. And then if New England is in that game, they'll obviously be away. If they're home, if it's not New England, then they'll have home throughout the entire Eastern Conference. So definitely still stuff to play for them. And looking at their schedule, it's definitely pretty favorable. I mean, on paper, obviously MLS is crazy and anything can happen, as we know in this league. I feel like the safe bet here is you win at Toronto, you win at FCC, and then even if you're just going to play a bit conservative here and say they can get a draw at NYC, in which case you're coming home with 7 points and putting yourself in a really strong position to close out and get that 2nd seed.
Oh yeah. It's like I said, they're clearly so and we'll make a little column over here. And we can go ahead. So we have a spreadsheet, by the way, everybody, from when we talk about columns and stuff. We'll just put a point total over there and figure out where they're at. I obviously like to look into things a little bit deeper because I'm a loser. They're very streaky, Philadelphia, right? When they went on a game 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games unbeaten from May to June, beginning of May to end of June. And then they'd go, 4 games without a win from end of August to middle of September. Now they're back on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, game unbeaten streak there, and then lost win, right? So they're very streaky. They look like they're on the trend up, or rather on the trend down. Excuse me. They went wins, losses, wins again, and they just threw a loss in there. So
yeah, but they just came off a huge win against Nashville.
Yeah, massive win, no question there. But they tie the likes of Montreal. They barely scrape by Cincinnati away. They tied Red Bull. They barely scraped by Atlanta. They are trained very well to a system. I won't disagree with that at all. But they tie Inter Miami. They tie Chicago man down, or rather man up. Excuse me. it really, it depends on who shows up. And we're not going to talk about what happens when they get to the playoffs, and we will make those predictions. But they're a team that if you don't show up, you're not getting your results. So here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say they're going to go to Toronto, get a draw, because Toronto way tough. No matter what happens, I can't give FCC any sort of leverage here. I'll give them a win there. I'm going to say they're going to lose away at New York City. Because New York City at Yankee Stadium is a different team. I'm going to say they walk out of here with 4 points. That's my start. You okay with that?
No, but.
Well, again, there's going to be somebody who's right, and then there's going to be you.
No.
So you're going to have to deal with it.
I would be shocked if they didn't come away with 3 points against Toronto. I mean, Toronto just scraped by a point at home in a game where I feel like they're extra motivated to play well because it's a rival. But like going up against Philly, you're already out of the playoffs. There's nothing to play for. Stay healthy. Don't get hurt for next season.
Sure, you could say that, but you can also say, hey, let's go ahead and be spoilers. Let's go ahead and play and ruin somebody's season, right?
Are they ruining the season though? Like Philly's already in the playoffs, basically.
Sure, but you know what I mean, right? You can take them from having home field advantage basically all the way through the playoffs if things go their way to having to play an away game in round one if you play it's that tight up there, right? If we look at this thing, Orlando's within 3 points, NYC's within 5, Red Bull, Atlanta, Montreal are all within 6. They're not guaranteed home field advantage. It's tight, right? So that right there, especially if you look back at what they've got, and again, motivating a team that's out is going to be tough. They have a favorable schedule. I'm not saying they don't, but I think that Toronto at home will at least pick up a result to get them moving in the right direction. And besides, I'll have Mike Bradley put them on master classes. So, move on to Nashville.
Yeah,
sure.
Lead us off.
Yeah, hold on. Let me find something here. There it is. Just want to look at their recent fixtures. Nashville are the kings of getting really bad results. Hold on, I'm going to close my door. There is a screaming child. Yeah, I'm just not here to put a wailing 4-year-old child on our podcast. So
I didn't even hear it. So I don't think it was picking up.
That's good, but I could hear it. Outside of the loss to Philly last night, 3, 4, 5, 6 games unbeaten. All 5
home draws.
Yeah. So they don't get beat easily. Only 3, 4 losses all year.
They don't win a lot either though.
Sure, but that's impressive. The fact that they know how to fight and play. Did drop points to Toronto, obviously Philly we talked about, Inter Miami, and Red Bull. So you're talking about, they don't lose much, but when they do lose, it's probably not a good loss in terms of what they've got. That being said, their games are against FCC at home, away to Orlando, and then at home to Red Bull. As mentioned earlier, FCC aren't looking anything close to a win these last few games. I watched them play. Not a single person there wants to play for that team. There's so much wrong with that organization.
Yeah.
Anywhere you see FCC, you could probably just chalk up a W.
Yep.
Away to Orlando is an interesting one. So they picked up 2 draws against them, both at home, 1-1 and 2-2. Their record on the road, when they do win, they've picked up points at Atlanta, points at Montreal, lost away to Toronto, points away to Inter Miami, and then just points everywhere. Their wins come at home, but away from home they get their points. That being said, with Orlando knowing that they're going to need to push to try and get home field advantage. The other thing I didn't look at is injuries, right? That's the one thing I didn't pull into this. I'm going to say Orlando pick up 3 points here. And then they get the Red Bull game's tough. Because I can see anything I say going so poorly. Home to a team that's hot. They'll pick up a point. They'll get out of there with 4. Oh, that sucks. I'm also, what we'll do is if there's a team that kind of crosses over, we will I'll update those points automatically so we don't
that makes sense.
Yeah. So we don't talk about them again and again and again. But go ahead, what do you got?
All right, so
yeah,
obviously
I'll do the updates, you do your thing.
Okay, obviously win against FCC. FCC is probably not taking a point for the rest of the season. Orlando game is going to be an interesting one because it's going to be, I would say a lot of it will, I feel like a lot is going to depend on how Orlando does in their next game. And we'll talk about that. Obviously, they're coming up next. But if Orlando manages to win their game, now they're level on points with both Philly and Nashville. So they're in the conversation in that case for getting that 2 seed. So it would be, that would be a serious fight right there because looking at Philly on paper, there's a very good chance they walk away with 6 points from their their next 2 games, in which case the pressure is really on these two to keep up.
Nashville, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about because I'm just talking about like the perspective for when they get to this game.
Okay.
Just assuming that like Philly gets through their second game, they're playing FCC, they beat Toronto because that was what my prediction is. So they're at 6 points at this case. Now Nashville and Orlando are playing. Assuming both are level on points going into this game, now it's like, okay, one of us needs to like win in order to keep up with Philly and have any shot at taking this 2 seed. Because if you drop points, now your chances have like seriously decreased because at that point they probably just need to get a point at NYC and then they lock up the 2 seed. So assuming that Orlando manages to fight their way through New England and get into this game level on points, now Orlando has a much a bigger dog in this fight. Whereas if they lose to New England, now all of a sudden it's like, okay, we can try to go like crazy and try to like keep any shot of us making the 2 seed, or we kind of take a step back and we're like, all right, let's just try to play for a point and try to just get ourselves a first round home game, as opposed to just throwing everything you got trying to get the 2 seed that may not necessarily happen. And then in that case, you risk losing the game and dropping out of getting a home game in the first round of the playoffs, or just dropping out of the playoffs, period. So I do think that first game for Orlando is going to be a big impact on how this game will go. I don't think they're going to be able to get 3 points against New England. So in that case, I think they're going to try to kind of just salvage what they have, in which case it's going to be probably a pretty defensive game, and I think they'll end up with a draw.
Okay.
And then going into the last game, now all of a sudden Nashville is in that same situation. So assuming Philly gets those 2 wins, now it's okay. We need to like get 3 points and hope Philly loses to NYC. So now they really got to like put in their best shot here in order to try to grab that 2 seed. But like we were kind of talking about with Red Bull, they're a red hot team right now. They look really good. Trying my best to jinx it right now as I'm talking. But
I can tell no reaction out of me.
But yeah, so Red Bulls at home, they're playing really well at the moment. I probably see the same result that you do, so I'm thinking a draw as well. So 5 points for Nashville, not enough points to knock off Philly for that 2 seed, in my opinion.
Interesting. Okay, so that would get them 54. Okay. I hear you. I see you. I think I agree with your draws here. I want to put Orlando there to make things spicy and interesting.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I don't like this Orlando team for some reason. I know
You're a hater.
they're in fourth right now, but they don't feel like a fourth place team. As much as I like a lot of the guys on their team, like DK and Mueller and Pereira, like I think there's a lot of quality, but I just feel like I don't know. They just don't feel like a they have a 1 goal difference on the season. It seems low for a team in fourth, but I guess we'll see what happens. I know they were on like a pretty bad streak at one point. It looks like they've rebounded a little bit better lately. So maybe they'll carry that momentum, be enough to get them some home games.
Might be. It might be. I'm playing color matcher here, so it's getting
while you play color matcher,
very colorful in here.
I think I'll kick us off for Orlando.
Yeah. So they've got 4 games left. New England at home, Columbus away, Nashville at home, which we've talked about already, and Montreal away. But what I like what you're doing is you're bringing in like situations of like what happens if they win or lose certain games. I like that. Didn't think about it that way, but go on.
Yeah, so this is a really tough schedule for Orlando. No question about it. New England's obviously just won the Supporter Shield. And at this point, you would say, I mean, in most sports situations, you'd probably be like, okay, you've secured the best like possible position you can. Maybe they'll just kind of, whatever, throw some other guys in there and ease their way into the playoffs. But good point, like you mentioned. I don't remember if you mentioned it on air or before we started the episode, but New England could definitely be playing for the points record, and I think they should because they got a really good shot at it. So, especially having this first game be against New England, I think New England will still be trying. And on paper, New England at home is a team that absolutely should beat Orlando. So I'm going to say Orlando loses that one, in which case your back is against the wall now. You are now 3 points behind getting that second place finish in the league. And not only that, you are in jeopardy of losing that spot in the standings where you're even just in the playoffs, because that's how tight it is right now with the teams. You're sitting on 46 points in that case. And if Red Bull and Atlanta get a win, I'm not exactly sure how the head-to-head has been, so I don't know who would rank ahead of who in the standings, but at that point, they're on level points with you. So potentially you could drop down to 6th now, where you're only 3 points ahead of Montreal and only 2 points ahead of NYC. So in real jeopardy in that case of dropping out of the playoffs. So, it's definitely not out of the question for them. So back against the wall, you're at Columbus. Obviously, Columbus has been very disappointing this year based on the expectations that we set for them at the start of the season. However, I think with Orlando's back against the wall, they're going to get the job done away at Columbus, get the win, keep themselves in the hunt, keep themselves in the playoffs. Then we talked about Nashville just before, so I think they'll end up getting a draw at home versus Nashville. I think Nashville's a very solid defensive team. I think they'll be tough to break down despite all the attacking talent for Orlando. So then you go into the last game of the season against Montreal, at Montreal. That's potentially could be a very big game. Even if Orlando's clinched at the playoffs at this point, I'm not exactly sure how it would work out. But Montreal might be fighting for their lives to make it to the playoffs. So despite the fact that it's a home game, I feel like Montreal could be the more motivated team here. Definitely would make things. Oh, no, sorry. Montreal's the home team, not Orlando.
Montreal's home, yep.
I think that could make things pretty interesting here. I think Montreal, assuming they're still in the chase at this point to get into the playoffs, I feel like Montreal will be able to pull out a win here. I'm going to say another loss here for Orlando. So then that ends them with 4 points out of the last 4 games.
So to throw some fire into that Montreal game, decision day, last time they played, Montreal won 4-2, and there were 2 Orlando red cards.
It's a revenge game for Orlando then.
Yep. Nani had a double yellow within 7 minutes in the first half. And Andreas Pereira had a straight red in the 83rd.
Yeah, Nani doesn't start anymore though, so I don't know if we'll see him later in the game in that case. But
Does he not start anymore?
Orlando and Montreal actually just played recently. They got a draw, so
That's wild. They put Chris Mueller above that Nani guy, like as if he deserves to be there from the start. Anyways, so I'm going to agree with you here on the New England one. I think New England just has too much going for them, and they're going to be pushing for that points record. I don't think they're going to be dropping points anytime soon. The Columbus game is interesting. So we look at their past matchups. They beat them 3-2 in September, and that's it. Unless I'm missing something. They've only played them once. Yeah, only once. Yeah. That game involved go away. An own goal, Miguel Berry goal, Daryl Dike goal, Junior Urso goal. Daryl Dike ran rampant in this game.
He did.
He did. This Miguel Berry guy needs to stop playing against Red Bull. He is ridiculously good. And if they can find the correct form, and I think Caleb Porter's got his rotations wrong, but that's a story for another day. The missing Josh Williams are going with Wigmore and Mensa. Eloy Room's not playing the way that he should be, but when I watched Red Bull play them at home, it was a tough game. The crowd is influential. They're very, very strong at home. Their last 6 games, they've got 6 out of 9 points, and they beat Montreal and they beat the living snot out of in Miami, which isn't saying much, but most of their result, they went on a run where they had 6 straight losses, and they've kind of bounced out of that. I think they pick up a draw here. I think they can hold them off. And again, this is assuming that Miguel Berry is playing out of his mind. Zelarayán and Santos start working the way that they should be. And they get good work out of their wingers. Because I don't think the Orlando, and again, I might be wrong here. But in the last couple games, Orlando has only kept, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. They've only kept 1 clean sheet, and that was against FC Cincinnati. So I don't think with the attacking talent that Columbus has, if they're firing on all cylinders, they can handle that. True. Now we go to the Montreal game, and
I want to play a quick devil's advocate for you here.
Sure.
So at the same time, while Orlando may not be able to necessarily combat against Columbus's attack, who on Columbus is going to be able to contain DK, Mueller, Pereira?
Jonathan Mensah is going to put DK in his back pocket because he's only the number 2 U22 player in the league. Again, this is what I talk about with Caleb Porter's rotations, right? If he goes out and plays like Pedro Santos and Derek Etienne, they're not going to contain anything, right? Because they're both very attacking players. Derek Etienne might do the work back, but they're not going to contain anything. You might want to look at somebody like Matan or even a formation change to try and just let them play wide and deal with everything in the middle. I don't know. But again, I put a draw there as a very big maybe. Now the Montreal game is the one I'm very interested for. Montreal at this point might be out because they're right on the brink. They've got 3 games left. One of them is away to us. Then they've got Houston. I think that's a midweek game too on the 3rd. Oh no, that's a weekend game. Wait a second. Sorry. Full stop here.
Mhm.
Are they putting decision day on a Wednesday?
Oh man, I love this league.
That can't be. No,
I see
that'd be
Columbus's last game's on a Sunday. Let me see the others. Atlanta's last game is on
no.
Sunday.
Okay, so
On
it's
Sunday.
it's just Montreal because I guess they have the Canadian Championship. Maybe Montreal's last game is a Wednesday. So
Oh, it says
Montreal.
Sunday.
No, Montreal plays Orlando.
Sunday, November 7th.
No, I just looked at it.
Yes. I'm looking at it right now. The Wednesday games against Houston.
Oh, okay, we're good. When Montreal play good opponents. Oh, Orlando also got a 1-1 draw against Montreal earlier.
Yeah,
So
the last game. I think.
Last game.
Last game for Orlando. Yeah.
And that was Chris Mueller and Rudy Camacho. I'm gonna go draw. No. See, it's all gonna again. This now you said that thing about where they're at. If Montreal is out by this point, because they've also got the Canadian Championship, they're most likely playing it, right? So if they're out by this point, and they've got the Canadian finals coming up, they're not playing anybody.
Well, the Canadian Championship is before it, I believe.
The semifinals are.
Oh yeah, no, I see it. Yeah.
So Canadian Championship final. Toronto's playing Pacific.
Means Vancouver got knocked out.
Vancouver lost to Pacific. That's
because they're focusing on the league.
That's so bad. But anyways, yeah. So they're gonna play on a Wednesday. They're gonna play on a
probably
Thursday.
after it.
So if here's my prediction. Montreal is gonna go because they win Canadian Championship, they go to the Champions League. They can give a damn about playoffs. Orlando picks up 3 points here simply because Montreal play a rotated system. They walk out with 7 points. Oh, Connor. They walk out with 7 points, giving them 53. Man, I'm awful. I'm putting 53 for everybody.
You just want to see chaos.
I want the world to burn.
I feel like I don't know that they would just sack the league just to make CCL. I mean, CCL is great and all, but they may not even need to sack the league to make CCL. I mean, their biggest rival right now is Toronto, who sucks. Because, all right, I mean, I don't want to get ahead because we're going to talk about Montreal later, and maybe we can revisit this maybe after we talk about the rest of the teams. But I feel like Montreal might still be in it.
It's interesting.
All right. Let's talk about your favorite team. Your favorite baseball team. And you lead us off, which is great.
I am, yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking at.
You get it, lead off.
My girls' team plays a tournament on Halloween weekend, and there are like all these activities and stuff. So I'm getting emails all over the place. Okay. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Give this team such a easy schedule. Let them walk right into the playoffs because why would we keep them out when Man City is lining our pockets? Hey, pause this real quick. Man, I think that was a pretty good rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. I don't know about you.
Seventh inning stretch.
I think I nailed it. NYC, 3 games left. Chicago at home, Inter Miami away, and Philadelphia at home, which we talked about. Man, how did they get this draw?
It's not the easiest end of the season schedule.
It's not, but with their position, realistically, probably 1 win gets them safe. I think.
You would think so.
You would think so, unless something crazy happens. You would think 1 win gets them safe, right? So Chicago is actually an interesting one for me, which is weird to say because Chicago and they are like FCC level bad. But they're coming off a decent stretch where they've got they tied the Revs and they beat FCC. And I'm pretty sure they also picked up a result. Yeah, they beat RSL as well. All the Cincy game has a little bit of concern to it because they conceded 3 goals to that team, but they scored 4. They drew the Revs, which is massive, and they beat an RSL side that is fighting for some spots in the playoffs over there. I'm trying to find out where they go. Oh, there they are. And they'll probably make it once Vancouver drops out. So I just needed a reaction. When they last played NYC, can't even find it. They drew them 0-0 in August.
Yeah, they played against someone.
And they beat them 2-0 at home. So this is the first time they're going away. Now, the big one to factor in here is obviously the baseball stadium, right?
Yep.
Now, it seems like that goal scoring drought that City went on, where they went 4.5 games without scoring a goal, is now over after the 6-0 thrashing they put on DC United. With that momentum, I'm going to say they pick up a win at Chicago. Inter Miami is going to be another interesting one if they're out. Inter Miami that's such a tough couple games. I think they're going to end it on 3 wins. Chicago, Miami, and Philly at home. Beat them all.
That's going to get them the 2 seed, or does that get them to 53 also?
If that gets into 53, I quit. Let me see. 44 plus 9 is 50.
Gets into 53.
You gotta be kidding me. I want the world to burn.
Wow, you want all the chaos.
I can make some changes here. The Philly City game might end differently.
Don't change it.
I won't change it. This is awful.
Go for the chaos.
Yeah.
All right. So I think Chicago is also a win. I still don't think this Chicago team is very good, even if their results have been a bit better lately. This is too important of a game for NYC, and NYC is at home, and nobody knows how to play better on the baseball stadium than they do.
That is the big one, right?
Yeah. So I'm giving NYC the nod there. That's probably enough, like we said, to get them into the playoffs. But I think at Inter Miami, I want to obviously say win, like off the bat, because it's Miami.
They're playing better too.
Are they? Or did they just play Toronto FCC and that's really it?
Hey, Adam wouldn't like that very much.
Okay. I'm just checking something really quick with Miami.
Sure.
The last time that they won a game that was not FCC or Toronto was August 18th against Chicago. So they really know how to beat up on the bad teams, but if they play anybody with talent.
What do you mean? They beat Columbus in
Oh, yeah,
Number
sorry. I
12.
skipped that one. Regardless, okay, so it's been over a month. It's been like a month and a half since they won against someone not named Toronto or Cincinnati. So I'm gonna say NYC win that one. Close out the season strong with 7 points. So 51 points for me. They'll jump Orlando. And now Orlando's in some trouble. Might miss
I
out
need
on
to
the
make
home
some
game.
changes here because I won't be able to rank any of these teams.
You'll have to look into the rules because you gotta find some way to rank them.
I might go back
think,
and the
you would
Philly
think
NYC game I might change.
You would think it's goal difference, but Philly's ahead of Nashville right now. And I don't know why. Probably head to head.
Yeah. All right. The future MLS Cup champions are up next.
Oh, sorry. No, Red Bull's up next, not Atlanta.
Stop it. Red Bull are doing the most Red Bull thing ever after being basically down and out as of September 15th, winning 6 of their last 8 games, drawing the other 2, putting themselves back into the playoff spot just to either get knocked out on the last day at Nashville or make it in, go all the way to the semifinals and lose to like DC United on some dumb penalty kick. That's great. Go ahead.
Taking a look at your schedule, obviously you guys are playing a lot better right now. But I'm looking at it and I'm saying, you know, have you played like very strong teams? I would say NYC is a strong team, but you guys historically
We played NYC 3 times. We played
but you guys
Columbus
just,
and we played Philly.
Columbus is not making the playoffs. They're out of the playoffs.
Stop it.
They're not making the playoffs. You got to draw against Philly at home. You guys own NYC. So like I know NYC is like a good team on paper, but you guys own them. So like you guys always beat them. So then you
might as well just chalk up a win. You might as well
Cincy.
just chalk up a win in this column right here then too. We're talking about teams that we own.
Oh my God. Yeah. Let's go back to the last time you played us in a meaningful playoff game.
Stop it. I don't think you guys have beaten us in a non-playoff game all year, all your entire history. Anyways.
So you guys have beat Columbus, Miami, FCC. You got a draw against DC, lost to Chicago, beat Columbus, lost to Montreal, lost to Chicago, lost to New England, DC. So I feel like
you're looking at 2 completely different sections though, right? You're looking at pre and post run. Those are 2 different teams. Like it's night and day, those 2 teams.
You guys are getting a lot of results, but they're not, very easy wins, it looks like.
They're not convincing.
Sneaking out 1-goal wins.
They aren't convincing in the slightest. I will not sit here.
So while I think Red Bull is hot and they have momentum, I do think these games are going to be a lot tougher for them than they appear. I think at DC, this is an interesting one. How does DC rebound after getting absolutely shellacked by NYC? I mean, I think this is going to be a tough game for Red Bull because DC's back is against the wall now. You've now dropped out of the playoff picture. You are below the line right now. You have to make up those results and get in now. So they're going to push hard for that matter. And then on top of that, now they have to redeem themselves after getting absolutely embarrassed by NYC. I think DC fight their heart out. Not to mention that I feel like Red Bull has a bad reputation against playing DC. I am tempted to say that it's going to be a draw. And I think that's the better result that Red Bull gets out of this, because there's a part of me that wants to say DC comes away with a win. But I think they're hot enough and have enough momentum, they'll get a draw. All right, so then you play Montreal. That's an interesting one too. Another team that is right below the line right now needs the motivation to pull out points. I think you guys lose to Montreal, but then you come back and you beat Atlanta, and then finish with a draw against Nashville. So that finishes with 5 points.
Okay.
You guys are on 43. Yeah, so 48.
43. So Red Bull are going to somehow get 10 points out of this so they can make it 53 and no. Okay. So we talked about how this is MLS and anything can happen, right? So Red Bull are undefeated in 8. They have conceded 3 goals in those 8 games. They have 5 shutouts in those 8 games. DC United in their last 4 games have conceded 11 goals and scored 3. DC United win this game because MLS says so. It just makes sense. DC United are getting destroyed. But to be fair, if we go the Connor Wright logic, the last time that they won a game that wasn't against FCC, Minnesota United, Chicago Fire, or
Beat Minnesota
Montreal was May 8th, 2021, and they're DC United win this game, and it's going to be 1-0 off of some dumb own goal or something. The Montreal game at home, Red Bull are very good at home. I think Red Bull pick up. Hold, please. We lost to them away in August. And that was the only time that we played them, I believe. Yeah. Yes. So we lost them away on a Sunsi Ibrahim finish, and then a Victor. Oh my God, that's right. That was a Victor Wanyama penalty that was taken like 4 times.
Oh yeah,
that was stupid. That made me so angry. I was yelling. Red Bull win at home. Red Bull win at home against Atlanta and draw Nashville. Give them 7 points and 51. But I probably would change, or would that be? Yeah, no, that'd be 50. Sorry. But I'd probably change DC United to a win so we can get them on 53 and the world can burn. However, before we move on, that it would be very MLS for Atlanta to keep us out of the playoffs with some sort of win right at the very end of the game, end of the season, right? At home. No, I'll keep it this way. I'll go. We lose on Wednesday away. We pick up 2 wins at home and then decision day draw. And that might be enough to get us in. I think it would be. Okay. Atlanta United. This might have to be a half and half episode. We might need to do the West another day.
I don't know. Well, we had the long pause, so that
we did. We'll see what it is. What we'll do is we'll record it. We'll just cut it up if we have to.
Yeah.
Atlanta United. Home to Inter Miami, home to Toronto, away to Red Bull, away to FCC. I'm already going to start and give the win away at FCC. No, you know what? I'm not going to give the win away at FCC. That's decision day. You guys are fighting for spots. This is a really fun one because Atlanta United are so up and down. Losing to Montreal, losing to Philly, and losing to Nashville, but they've been on a really good stretch outside of those. Inter Miami at home. Last time you played them at home, it was 1-0 on a Josef Martinez penalty. What a shock. Penalty kick merchant. Man, there's nothing about this Inter Miami team that wants me to give them anything. I just feel like they're so bad. Like, they're not good. Phil Neville doesn't know what he's doing.
They are bad.
They're awful. They went on one run where they were like half decent, and they just have been shellacked ever since. All right, here's what's going to be. They're going to beat Inter Miami. Toronto's going to come to town, and Josie Altidore is going to straight up body just everybody. There are going to be 4 red cards in that game. It's going to end 1-1. They're going to lose to Toronto, to Red Bull, and right now that gives them 4 points, which would get them to 47, which would mean they would need a win to get in with Red Bull at 50 points away at FCC on the final day. As much as it would just hook into my veins, the idea of FCC keeping Atlanta out of the playoffs, they pick up a win at FCC. That gives them 7 points, 50. You're up.
Yeah. I'm looking at mine right now. I think I'm going to end up changing some stuff after we finish. All right. Home versus Inter Miami. They should be able to take that. Same thing with Toronto. Should be able to win that. Losing to Red Bull. That's we kind of just talked about that one before. Away game. Just historically have not been good against them. And then away at FCC, as much as an away game on decision day would be tough against any opponent, FCC is just so bad. I don't think even they can sneak something there. So I'm gonna say 9 points, and it gives them 52.
You have way too much faith in your teams. You haven't been watching sports long enough, evidently, because
they arguably have the easiest schedule out of every team on this list for the rest of the season.
100%, which is why they have to mess it up. The way that they've been playing this year.
I don't think they will. I think they'll get the job done.
You don't think, or you hope? There's a big difference.
I mean, they've beaten the team. They've beaten those teams lately. Like they beat Toronto, they beat Miami, and they beat FCC. They didn't see a goal in them. So
they're another streaky team. They went 12 games without a win, and then just started rallying them off.
Well, I think so. They had the rough stretch when Hines was there, and then they swapped out the coach, and now I think they started to build a bit better momentum. The problem is they suck at holding on to leads. They're awful. Like they were beating Montreal, they blew that game. They were beating NYC, and then they blew the win and got a draw. So they gotta just close it out. So yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if there were some results in there that you have because they can't close out a game. But
okay. So we move on to Montreal, who we've already talked about a little bit. We talked about Red Bull and Orlando. You've got them winning both of those games. I have them losing both of those games.
Yeah. So
hold on.
Yeah.
Here we go. Their last game is against the only Western Conference team on this list, in the Houston Dynamo, who have been anything but underwhelming. Based off of, I don't know, certain predictions by a certain person, but there's not really a lot to talk about in terms of they haven't played each other this season. So really what's going to come down to is they're getting beat by Austin 2-0 right now. Marco Maric with an own goal, you absolute bum. God, he's so bad. Houston, there is definitely a problem, but I don't know what it is because you beat Seattle last week. Go ahead.
So I'm just going to say this now. I'm going to end up changing stuff with Montreal because I don't see a way that they close out this season winning all of their games. I think that's a bit ridiculous. I will say, though, that I do think at home, when they're still in the playoff hunt, I think they definitely beat Houston. And I will come back to this to change it, but I'll put the 9 for now.
Yeah,
but I'm going to make a change.
We will definitely make some adjustments. We'll go through the last 3 teams here, recap, make any changes we might want to make. I also think they're going to pick up a win against Houston. They're just bad, man. They're really, but they're not bad, right? So they went on a game where they didn't win a game in 16. They're out of the playoffs, but they've started playing okay against better teams. But Montreal isn't a better team. They have to go to Canada.
Wait, what? Tell me, outside of the Seattle game, what better game have they had? Because I'm looking at a loss to Minnesota, draw to Vancouver, loss
They
to
beat
SDC.
Dallas. That's the best team in the league.
Beat the loss.
Best U22 player in the league.
He didn't even score against Houston.
Doesn't matter. They're getting results. Well, again, they're getting results on comparable teams. The other thing that's coming into my head is this game is on 11-3. And if we go to Montreal one more time.
I feel like you're thinking too much into this. I highly doubt Montreal's losing to Houston.
Montreal is playing the Canadian Championship before the Red Bull game. Okay. So they'll probably rotate through Red Bull and leave it open. Yeah, I'm going to go win at Montreal.
I bet they rotate for the Canadian Championship. You think they need to play their best to beat Forge?
Yeah. That would put them on 46. Okay. DC United went to Rome to see the Pope. DC United went to Rome to see the Pope. I can't finish that song. It has bad words in it, and we are a PG podcast.
Yeah, Benny Ball came back from the dead last
Benny
night.
Ball, goodness me, that is like Benny Ball on steroids. 6-0 shellacking against New York City. Now they go to Red Bull here, or rather they host Red Bull in their new stadium. They get Columbus at home and they get Toronto away. I don't like this, man. There's something funny is going to happen with this. So they haven't won in their last 4 rather, excuse me. And we've talked about it a little bit already where they've been outscored and beaten. They put up a good fight against New England, 3-2. With the GOAT Ramon Abila scoring.
Abila.
Let's take a look. Were you going to say something? Sorry.
No, I was just showing my appreciation for Ramon Abila.
All right. Columbus at home is a loss to me. Last time they went to Columbus and beat them 4-2. And then they also lost to Columbus away 3-1. I say Columbus picks up. No, I'm going to say it's a draw. I think they battle it out and it's like 1-1. TFC away is my favorite. DC United go into TFC. I think TFC picks up 3 points in that game. That puts 4 points on this plate here, making it
It's 45.
45.
All right, so I will say that I actually agree with you on both of those results.
Nice.
I think that Columbus is going to be a tougher game than the standings show. I think that they will. Columbus is obviously a very good team on paper and has the quality to show up in this game. I think DC's really looking on the outside of this playoff chase right now. It's not looking good for them. They're down. They're behind in points and they don't have a game in hand. So they would definitely need a lot of help. And it's possible because a lot of these teams are playing each other. But I think that draw against Columbus seals their fate.
Mm-hmm.
If Red Bull doesn't do it themselves. And then I agree. I think they go out with a whimper at the end of the season, losing away at TFC and concluding on a pretty it's tough to say disappointing because at the start of the season I didn't think they'd be in the playoff chase, but they got hot. They were solidly in the playoff chase, and now they've really hurt themselves and probably knocked themselves back out of the playoff chase. So 2 points for me, putting them on 43.
Okay. 72. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me back up for a second. Miami goes to Atlanta, plays New York City at home, and then goes to New England, right? We both predicted they're going to lose 2 of those games. They'll be out of the playoffs at this point, right? The New England, which is their last game away, need 4 points from their last 3 games. That would be today at Orlando. Which if I just look up real quickly how they're doing, they play tonight at 7:30. We could live stream that. Because I know you want to.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. Colorado at home. And then Miami away. A part of me really wants to see Miami beat New England away to take away the points record. Like they lose at Orlando today. They beat Colorado. Oh no, you know what it would be? I'm gonna give them a draw. I'm gonna give them a point.
They tie the points record.
Give them 1. Get them to what is that? 40, 41? What are they on? They'd be on 39.
Yeah.
Give them 39. But here's my other prediction.
Mm-hmm.
They lose. New England loses at Orlando today.
Even though you said they wouldn't. You said Orlando would lose.
No, but now I'm talking chaos, right? Now I'm talking chaos. This is not what I think is going to happen. This is what I want to happen.
Okay.
New England loses at Orlando. Orlando picks up 3 points at home. I think they tie Colorado at home, and then Miami scores something in like the 90th minute just to break the points record away from them. They finish with like 70. Oh, right to my veins. That would be awesome. That'd be so good.
Well,
yeah,
I'm
gonna
not
give them a draw for fun.
I think a part of me wants to say draw also or something like that. Is I think no, I see New England wins because I think they're gonna still have to I think the game's gonna be meaningful for them to try to get the points record.
Chaos. Wait,
no, I
so you mean that's a loss, right?
Yeah. So 0 points, 38. Because I think they beat Orlando, draw against Colorado, in which case they need a result. So I think they send out a strong enough team that can beat Inter
No,
Miami.
if they beat Orlando, they draw Colorado. They get it. They're at 73.
It's a draw all of a sudden.
So they're gonna lose one of those two games. I don't know. Anyways, that game doesn't really matter. They're out anyway.
Yeah.
Columbus, home against Orlando. I said a draw. You said a loss. Away to DCU, we both said a draw. Chicago at home. I'll put another draw on there. I don't think they're really worth too much. That'll put them to 41. Bump them over Miami, but not over enough.
I say win, just because I think they're better. And I'll say 4 points, 42. I'm not going to spend too much time on that one because it doesn't matter for the playoff chase.
Correct.
They're out.
They are out. So if you want to make some changes here real quick.
Yes, definitely. So I want to change Red Bull stuff. I think they're going to beat Montreal. Part of me really wants to say they're going to lose to DC. Oh, boy. I'm keeping it. I think they're still good. So I think.
So you're going to put them at 51?
Yes, 51 points.
Considering where we were 8 games ago, that is like absurdity to me. But anyways.
1 point behind Atlanta. It's perfect.
Yeah, there you go. I'm going to change my Philly NYC. I'm going to say Philly get a draw away and draw there. So this turns to 7 and goes 51. This turns to 5 and goes 54. And then that leaves me with 2 ties, which I can deal with. But having 4 teams tied for the number 2 spot is chaos I would love, but don't want to deal with. Is chaos I would love, but do not want to deal with.
You just don't want to have to deal with the logistics of trying to put that in an order.
Correct. We only need top. Yeah, we'll just do 10. So me, you. So New England's in first, right?
Yeah.
So second place would then be for me.
Both guys.
Actually, for both of us, it would still be Philly.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of hit the tab button. It would just be there. So then third place would be
tiebreaker for you. For me, it's Nashville.
For you, it's Nashville.
Mm-hmm. I'll look into it. So I think it's the head-to-head, right?
I believe
that game's going to be meaningful. Then they're playing each other. All right. So far I see 2 draws between them. Wait, hold on. I want to say that's probably it.
So for me, if it's head-to-head, it goes Orlando, Nashville.
Yeah, because they drew each other both times.
Right. So the winner of that game would get a better spot.
I think it's head to head because MLS has Philly ahead of Nashville right now, and Philly has 8 less in goal difference. So
all right. So it's head to head, then it's goal difference, I do believe.
Your audio also just got really quiet all of a sudden.
It's head to head, and then okay. I don't know. I think your computer is broken. But
I think your brain is broken.
Probably.
All right. 4th place.
For you.
Put it in.
Oh, yeah, you're doing a mad one. That's what you're doing. That's
I'm doing a mad one.
Atlanta and 4.
Their schedule is so easy. They need to do that.
Okay, so my 5 then goes to, so I've got 2, 3, 4. My 5 becomes NYC. Your 5 is
probably Red Bull.
It'd be Red Bull then NYC, right? Because you
guys definitely have the head-to-head.
We have the head-to-head there, no matter what happens. 6 for me is a tiebreaker between Atlanta and Red Bull, which would be Red Bull, I do believe.
Yeah, I think so. Have we played each other this year?
We have to have. We tied 0-0.
Okay, so then yeah, you would have it.
Yeah, it was a very boring game. So it would be RBNY, then it'd be Atlanta for the last spot. And then your 7 is
Oh, my playoff is so much more fun. We get to play you guys in the playoffs.
who's your 7?
It would be
It'd be Orlando, wouldn't it?
yes, Orlando.
So then at 8, just missing out would be
Montreal.
Montreal for us, for both of us, just different point numbers. And then it would be DC, Columbus, DC, Columbus, Miami.
Yep.
Okay, so that is final predictions there.
I think that doesn't change who's in the playoffs, but it changed. We changed the order. Yeah.
Which I think is fair, right? I think we talked about that at the beginning. Is the people who are in there right now probably deserve it the most.
Yeah, I think so too.
Outside of maybe, and this is being harsh, NYC because of their abysmal run of form, right? Or Red Bull for their abysmal season outside of the last 8 games. Montreal is going to be a tough one to miss. I feel like they probably have done enough to get in. It just hurts. I don't think I think their schedule doesn't favor them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will, we should post that. That should be a tweet that we put out. But that's it. So that is the Eastern Conference done. Do you want to go and do West, or do we think we want to put that off to next week?
Well, if we put it off, it's changing the matchups. So
it does. It'll change everything. We're just gonna have to push it. No lollygagging.
Yeah. All right,
Western Conference. Into the Western Conference. We've got
this one's not going to be as fun. The East is so much more fun.
The East is so much, yeah. Like, well, actually, realistically, right? You still have RSL, LAFC, Vancouver, Minnesota, Galaxy, and Portland, all who could flip flops.
Yeah, that's fair.
So there's still a lot of potential here for somebody to just have a really bad run of games.
True.
Anyway, so it's Seattle, Sporting KC, Colorado, Portland, Galaxy, Minnesota, Vancouver, RSL, LAFC, and San Jose are the long shots. We are going to fly through this so we don't make this a 4-hour episode.
And because we don't care as much about the Western Conference.
Yeah, because the Western Conference sucks. Seattle Sounders are an interesting one. They've been playing really poorly as of late. Started the year off really hot. Went on a run of 4 wins over the end of September to October, and then lost to Houston, lost to SKC, and drew Colorado. Now they've got LAFC, Galaxy, and Vancouver. LAFC away, Galaxy home, Vancouver away. I'm already going to say Vancouver away is a win because I think they're probably going to knock them out with that win, and that would cripple you.
You're wrong.
Which would be really nice.
How dare you disrespect Brian White like that?
You're right, though, man. I got to have Brian White. Oh, now the West just got so much more interesting.
You got to put Brian White in the playoffs.
Did you see that tweet I sent? Do you see that tweet I sent you? Who's the best striker in CONCACAF from Doyle?
It's Brian White. I swear Doyle must be your burner account.
Well, Doyle's a Red Bull fan, so it's a lot of fun. But yeah, it was a list of like Alfonso Davies, like who's the best player in CONCACAF? Like Alfonso Davies, like Raul Jimenez, like all these players. Then Brian went to the bottom, and he won the poll because we love it. Seattle had beat up on LAFC and Galaxy. LAFC away might be a little tougher. It also depends on some injuries. Who have they been playing in these last few games?
That's a good question.
Yeah, like Ladero still isn't playing. You've got Roldan playing as an attacking mid. Benazé starting.
Rui Diaz either.
Yeah, no Rui Diaz either.
This team is still good though, even when they don't have their best.
Yeah, I mean they've got no Rui Diaz or Ladero for the last 2. Now we'll check the loss to Houston. Yeah, Rudy Diaz. Is Rudy Diaz hurt?
Must be.
Yeah.
What else would he be doing?
Having a good old time, I guess.
Yeah.
So here's what I'll do. I'll throw some chaos in here for the top seed. We'll go 2 draws at the LA sides. Because I just don't think that they're up top as good as they can be without Rui Diaz. Bruin and Montero just aren't the same. So
Yeah, I agree with you.
So I'll give them 5 points there.
Yep.
Top them off with 63.
Yep. All right. I'll make mine pretty quick. I think I see 3 draws across the board, honestly. So drawing both LA teams, drawing Vancouver on the last day. 3 points. Gonna set them up for probably a pretty tough position to take the top spot in the West. I feel like opens the door wide open for SKC. Which segue, SKC time. So I think I start this one off.
Hold on before you go. Rui Diaz did injure himself in his international call up in about 2 weeks ago. So
Any time still for the return?
No. Excuse me. But yeah, so again, no Rui Diaz, no party. So go on.
All right,
SKC.
Yep.
Home to Galaxy, away to Minnesota, away to Austin, home to RSL.
Yeah, I think they win home against Galaxy. I think Galaxy are kind of slipping back into a form that most people were probably expecting from them at the beginning of the season. Away at Minnesota is a tough one. I'd be surprised if they come away with a win, but I don't think I don't know if I see them losing either. I will say that. No, actually, I'll say they lose. I think Minnesota takes it at home. I think SKC at that point with the win against the Galaxy, that will put them. Hold on. That will put them level on points with Seattle and an easier schedule the rest of the season. So I feel like they can kind of feel okay about losing that game and still taking first in the West. I think at Austin they win, and home versus RSL they win. So I think 9 points for them, and they are on 55. So I think 64 points for SKC, and probably, unless I think Colorado sweeps, which I don't, that will win them the West.
Okay. Sporting KC. Last time they played Galaxy, they wrong LA team. They beat Galaxy
2-0.
Yeah.
Away too at Galaxy.
Yeah. SKC at home have been pretty good. Pick up a lot of good points. I'm going to go win over LA Galaxy. Draw Austin away. Austin away is a win. RSL is a tough one. On decision day, they lost to them last time they played them at home or away. I'll give them a draw. That puts them on 8 and 60. Oh, come on. Not this again.
Yes. Feed the chaos.
I hate my life. Colorado away to New England, away to Houston versus LAFC. What did I say was going to happen? They were going to draw, right? They were going to draw New England.
Yeah, I think so.
Draw New England away, beat Houston away, draw LAFC at home because LAFC are only good at home. And if I say that confidently enough, it'll be true.
I think
they're awful at home, actually.
Oh, really?
They had a stretch where they were just awful, period. But they've been pretty good so far. They did lose to Portland at home. Tied the Galaxy 3-3. That was always a good one. Yeah, I'll keep it that way. I'll give them 5. And that puts them on 63 points. No, I'm just kidding. That puts them on 60 points. Could you imagine?
Oh, if only it were possible.
What would they need? They would need 8 points, right? You can add.
I can't do that. No. All right.
Okay, sorry. Internet connection died. We're back. You're up
Yes.
on Colorado.
It is my turn. So we kind of talked about this before. I agree with you. Draw at New England. I wouldn't be surprised to see Colorado win this one if New England have already clinched the points title and then they just kind of sack the last game.
Well, they can't. At that point, they can't. They would
Oh,
need
because
at least
like,
a draw.
okay, this
Need
is the
at least
second
a
game.
draw if they beat Orlando. If not, they're going to be playing full.
Right. Okay, so then yeah, I keep it a draw. I think they'll go for that points title. Away at Houston, I feel like that's a trickier one than it looks because I know Houston stinks. How did they beat Houston away before? Did they just not play Houston at home? Oh no, they did. They beat them at home too. All right. They'll beat Houston away. And then versus LAFC is a tough one. But I think Colorado pulls it out. Takes 7 points, in which case they do what? 62 points. And they just jump Seattle in mine.
That's cool. I like that. I think Colorado is part of my bold predictions at some point. I don't remember when, but I think they were. Okay. Portland, home versus San Jose, away to RSL, home versus Austin. Something about me is saying San Jose is going to make a push here.
Something about you is wrong.
I think so too. I think I want it because chaos, right? Yeah, San Jose beat LAFC, beat Austin twice, picked up a point at the loss, beat the Galaxy. They also lost to Seattle, Vancouver, LAFC again, RSL. Yeah, probably not. Man, Portland have been an interesting team, though, I will say. Lost three straight after winning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of 8 and tying the other one, losing to Galaxy, Vancouver, Colorado. I'll give them a draw against San Jose. RSL away. They beat the snot out of them at home. Is that all the only time they played them? Nope. Damn it. They beat him at home. And now they got to go away. I'll give them a win there, and then Austin at home. I'll give them a win. So I'll give them 6. Put them on
That's 7, sir.
Yeah, you're right. Numbers are hard.
Cool.
Numbers are hard. That'll give them 53. So this is where it gets interesting, right? The top 3 are already confirmed. Just placement is now what's going on. Now things are going to get fun with 4 through 10.
Yeah. Portland's got a good schedule to get themselves in the playoffs, not to mention that they already have the points advantage on a couple of the teams. So I think they're probably sitting in the best situation out of any of these non-top 3 teams. So it would be pretty bad if they did not get into the playoffs at this rate. I'm going to say they win versus San Jose. I think San Jose is falling right back to the old San Jose that we know and love.
Mateus Almeida's out at the end of the year, I think.
He probably should be.
Yeah.
I think at RSL, they lose. But I think they finish strong, win at home against Austin, take 6 points and get 52. Surely that will be enough to get them into the playoffs, probably with a home game in the first round.
Game, yeah. Okay.
So.
Galaxy, we've talked about SKC away, Seattle away, 2 very tough games, and then you have to follow it up with Minnesota at home. We both have them on 1 point right now, drawing Seattle away. Minnesota at home is a fun one.
Yeah, this could be make or break playoffs for them, honestly.
Galaxy are a very up and down team. They go on streaks where they don't win in 9 and then they don't lose in 4. Beating Houston, drawing Dallas, beating Portland, drawing LAFC. LA Galaxy played this month. Why do I feel like that just didn't, nobody said anything about that game?
Probably nobody did say anything about that game.
But they lost to RSL, they lost to Austin, lost to Minnesota, lost to San Jose, lost to Colorado.
They went on a pretty bad streak at some point.
I'm going to say they lose to Minnesota.
Ooh, that's not looking good for the Galaxy.
Something tells me that this is going to be like the fall of like Greg Vandy's done a good job. I'm not telling him that he hasn't, but for him to come around and just turn them into, like I said, this is not an easy schedule for them. And they're going to have to come off of 2 massive games that they're going to have to battle. This last one, I don't know if they've got enough in them based off of what's going on. So yes, I will give Minnesota 3 points in that game.
This is a tough one. Definitely is. But a big part of me says Chicharito scores disgusting, stupid goal to
Chicharito scores Chicharito goals. I hear you.
To squeak the Galaxy a win against Minnesota. I think the Galaxy probably leave with at least a point. But I'll say 3. I'll say Galaxy win that game.
Okay. That gives them 4 and goes to 50 for them. They'll probably hold their spot. Okay, Minnesota.
A lot of these teams probably just need a win to get themselves into the playoffs. Well,
just maybe. 1, yeah.
Maybe. We'll see.
It depends on it depends on the teams outside of the playoff race, really. Minnesota goes to Vancouver, and then we've already talked about hosting SKC and going away to the Galaxy. I currently have them on 4 points, while Connor has them on 3. Vancouver is the game. Talk to me.
So their previous meeting, Vancouver was home. They played to a 2-2. This is back in July 31st. Vancouver just snatched a point with a 94th minute penalty. So at the same time, though, that's a Vancouver that was definitely not in the form that they are right now. Whereas I feel like Minnesota was playing pretty well. Beat Seattle, beat Portland, draw away at LAFC, and then drew away at Vancouver, beat Houston after that. So pretty good run of form for them. And then in May, they beat Vancouver 1-0 with Ramon Abila scoring the winning goal. But Ramon Abila is not around anymore, so he cannot score winning goals.
You don't know that. This is MLS. He can go and do whatever he wants.
And to keep the dream alive, there is only one result that I can put. That is a win for Vancouver.
Man, I gotta be honest with you. Sorry, complete side note. We always type out VAN for Vancouver, right? When we're doing this, you type the whole name of Vancouver out, and now I'm looking at it and I'm like, that's not spelled right, but it is. It just looks awful.
I'll change it for you.
Thank you. Fun fact about Vancouver, they have 2 losses in their last 19 games. Went away from home. Draw, win.
Well, wait, is Vancouver away from home?
Yeah.
Well, Vancouver's home for this game. Minnesota's away.
That changes things. Win, draw. Win. Loss to Portland. Win. And then this is their next game home back. Vancouver with 3 points today. 4 points here. That puts them on 49 over LA Galaxy. And we move to Vancouver, who are next on the list. We just talked about Minnesota, which is their next game coming up. They go to LAFC after that. And then we talked about the Seattle game. I've got them on 3 points right now. You've got them on 4. LAFC away is the big one. Yes. I think you better be quiet over there.
I am. I'm being quiet.
This is the season that LAFC fail. Bob Bradley has done a great job. This is the year where he doesn't get the job done. So I think they haven't missed the playoffs yet, have they?
Did they miss last year?
I don't think so, because they had the extended one, didn't they?
Yeah, they snuck in last year. So, no, they have not missed the playoffs.
Vancouver on 44 right now. If I give them a draw, that gives them 48. And they jump LA into 6. If I give them a win, so they're going to LAFC. They tied them last time. And when LAFC came to town, they beat them. The emergence of Arango is interesting, but it's nothing compared to Brian White. I give him a draw. I'll give him 4 points, 48, jump the Galaxy, make the playoffs.
I am going to say that they lose to LAFC because I don't see anybody on Vancouver being able to stop Aranjo. Giving them 4 points as well with a deadline day draw against Seattle to push them into the playoffs. I think they would be ahead of Minnesota just because of that one win. So I think oh no, wait. Oh, I don't know how that works then, because Minnesota right now has won 1 and then drew. And then if Vancouver wins the last game, then they're even. So I guess goal difference.
Wait, well, freeze. All of that freeze. Brian White has 11 goals this year. I mean, I know he's great, but 11 goals? He joined that team like halfway through the season.
Yeah.
We are awful.
Red Bull is playing him in the wrong system.
Yep. We tried to trust the system, but we trusted the wrong one. Yeah, I agree with your idea of who's going to stop them. They've got one center back who's played more than 20 games. Everybody else has just been kind of a rotation. But I'll give them a draw because Brian White said so.
Yeah.
RSL away to Dallas, home versus San Jose, home versus Portland and SKC, which we have talked about. I've got them on 1 point right now. You've got them on 3. Dallas, and Dallas.
Yeah, I think I start this one off, right?
Yes.
I'll keep this one nice and simple. No Pepe, no party. Win for RSL.
Oh, that's not chaotic.
Could be. We'll see what
It
the
could
rest
be.
of the results are. Could have 3 on 48 points. All right, so then that gives me RSL against San Jose. And that means oh boy, does this feel like a trap game for them. Oh, can they get the job done against FC Dallas? All right, let me check really quick. Maybe I'll switch that one. Let's see how they've done against.
Okay,
Dallas.
while you do that, Dallas, they have beaten at home and drawn away.
Okay. Beaten at home, draw away. So they beat Dallas at home, no Pepe. And then that other time. Where's that game? There it is. No Pepe again. So maybe that's not as much of a factor. I'm going to actually change that. I'm going to say draw. I say they beat San Jose 7 points. I think gives them 49. Yes, 49 points. I already said that I think they'll beat Portland at home. They'll lose to SKC on the road. But that game won't matter because they will be in the playoffs at that point. So 49 points for me for RSL.
Give them a win at Dallas because they're abysmal. I'm going to give them a draw at San Jose because I think San Jose at home is okay and will do enough to get a point. Yeah, they got 7 out of 10 points in their 7 out of 10 available points in their last game. So they're pretty good at home, but I think they can pick up a point. That'll put them on 5, which will put them at 47, even with the Galaxy. LAFC versus Seattle versus Vancouver at home.
Yeah, we've talked about all of their fixtures so far, but we could probably just run through it just to.
So Seattle, they'll pick up a draw at home against Seattle without Rui Diaz. Vancouver, I have them picking up a point against Vancouver. You have them winning. And then I have them picking up a point against Colorado as well. You have them losing. So you have them on 4 points. I have them on 3 points. That gives them a total of 44 or 45. And I don't believe that's enough to get them in.
Nope. I think that means they're out for both of us.
And then that's Bradley out. San Jose ending a rather tough schedule here, away at Portland, away to RSL, and then home against Dallas. I will give them a win against Dallas as well. I think Dallas is just not good. I've got them on 5 points to end the year with a draw, and a win in those games. That puts them on 42. Still not enough to do it. I think they're out by next week.
I think they lose to Dallas. So I think Dallas still has enough talent to beat San Jose. So I think San Jose.
You are not on the San Jose train.
I am not on the San Jose train.
There's Wondolowski's scoring a hat trick in the last 3 games.
He probably will because I said they'll lose. So
yeah, they need to win, I think, and have some help. Like they need Vancouver and Minnesota both to lose this weekend. I think they're out by next week. So 37 to end it. Would you like to make any changes?
It's a good question.
I'm good. I'm happy with mine. I feel confident with these.
I feel like Minnesota holds all the cards for determining who makes the playoffs and who doesn't. Because I think their games against the Galaxy and Vancouver are just, they're huge.
They
I
are.
think those will determine the fate of their season. Because I think if Vancouver loses to Minnesota, their season's probably done. But if they beat Minnesota, then Minnesota has to somehow beat the Galaxy to stay in. I think it all comes down to those games in that kind of order.
Yeah, like I said, the West. We don't watch the West as closely because we're Eastern Conference people. But it's going to be fun. It's definitely going to be fun. The big one to pick out right now is SKC versus Seattle for me, who gets the tiebreaker. I've got SKC win with a win. Seattle with a win. SKC with a win. So it'd be SKC first, Seattle second for me, then Colorado third. Then I've got 53 for Portland. And then I've got 49 for Minnesota. I've got 48 for Vancouver. I've got a tie for the last place between RSL and the Galaxy. That is awesome. That's what we love to see. I'd love to see the Galaxy miss out on goal differential again like they did in 2019. That would make my day.
Well, who's got the head-to-head?
I'm looking now.
RSL beat Galaxy.
RSL with a tie, Galaxy with a win, RSL with a win. So they are even in head-to-head, which means it would come down to goal differential, which currently LA is -2, RSL is +2. Right now we've got Galaxy losing 2 of 3, RSL winning 1, losing 1, drawing.
So RSL would most likely get the goal difference there.
So RSL would stay on +2. LA Galaxy would stay on +2 there. They would have to go down. So unless they get absolutely torched by Portland and like barely win against Dallas, RSL get in.
Yeah.
Right to my veins. Love that. Then LA Galaxy underneath them, then LAFC, then San Jose. And that's it. That is the Western Conference done. We will tweet these out right at as soon as the games are. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll tweet it out and say, okay, these are the predictions we have for the end of the year. And then we'll see where it goes from there. It's gonna be fun. Fun couple last few weeks. Decision day. Decision day on the 7th. We're right there. We're right around the corner.
We'll have to clear the calendar for decision day.
I'm almost thinking like I might be able to go to Atlanta, Cincinnati, but I almost like don't want to go now. I just want to kind of sit home and just watch all the.
They all play at 3:30, right?
Yeah. Everybody kicks off.
We got to stream decision day.
We do have to stream decision day.
Oh, it's not all at the same time.
What?
It's each conference plays all at the same time. So
Sure, yeah,
East plays 3:30, West plays at 6.
Yeah. So
at the least we could stream the East.
we can stream both. It's an all-day event. Clear your calendar. The only way that I would not be there is if I get to meet Josef during that game, because that's the game where I might get to meet him.
That doesn't matter. You got to have better priorities than that.
Yeah, right. But that's been it from us. It's been a bit of a long one, but we hope you enjoyed it. Connor, you got anything else to add?
No, sir.
All right. We will see you on live stream for the Orlando game right about now.
Funny.
Connor's a loser. Just want to put that out there. But yeah, thank you guys for listening and watching if you've been watching along. And we will catch you on the next one. Up the Red Bull. See ya.